Hey guys, Jerome Maldonado. Welcome to Wednesday's Real Talk on Real Estate. And today we're going to teach you guys how to get a construction loan in 4 simple steps. And so this is for residential construction. Commercial construction is very similar, but there's a lot more to it in regards to like engineering and so forth. So if you guys have questions, if you guys are watching this on repeat, put repeat in the chat. If you guys love the content that we're talking about, give us a thumbs up. And for more content just like this, to be notified, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Now, ladies and gentlemen, one of the big things, I've been developing real estate since the early 2000s. I built my first property in late 1999, early 2000. And people want to know, how do I get permits? How do I get a construction loan? How do I go in and how do I facilitate business, buying land, building houses, buying land, building apartments, buying land, building warehouses? For all of it, it's exactly the same, except for commercial construction being multifamily and commercial industrial warehouse, retail, office, whatever it is. There's just a little bit more to the process because we have to go in and get more engineering. Residential is fairly simple. And so I want to talk to you guys today about residential because one of our big pushes is teaching people how to go out and make a 6-figure income part-time, going out and buying land, building a house. And it's extremely viable. I've done this business part-time on top of my full-time construction company and top of my full-time development company. I've bought land, built houses my entire career, and it's become a full-time business, but it's still part-time in comparison to what we do regularly. And so if you guys want to learn how to generate a 6-figure income from buying land, building a house, and do it over the next 6 months and generate an extra 6 figures doing it, this is the video you need to be watching. Now, first step is you need to acquire the land, right? So obviously, to get a construction loan, you have to have a lot on that land that is going to be viable to build on. So first you want to acquire the land. And so if you guys want to learn how to acquire the land, I have other videos that you guys can go in. If you guys subscribe to my YouTube channel, you guys can see some of those videos on how we actually acquire land to buy and build on. Now, so first is acquire a buildable lot that fits the business model to go out and build on. So you acquire the land. Now, before you acquire the land where you actually take ownership of it, typically there's about a 30 to 60 day closing period. I usually tell people, try to go on and when you negotiate the purchase of this lot, especially nowadays, title companies, a lot of excuses you can use. Everybody's busy, right? The survey companies are busy, the title company's busy. So you can go in and tell them, look, I'd like a 60-day close on this lot. So we're sitting here, second week of December. You can go in right now, make an offer on a lot and tell them, I'd like to close at the end of January or mid-February. And so if you set that up for like February 15th, that gives you 60 days of what I call free time. Now, this is just time that you can go in and take care of the logistical stuff that you need to go in and get a construction loan. So if you're going to get a construction loan, you want to take advantage of that free time. So if you do a 30 to 60 day closing, preferably 60 days. Now, there's a few things that you're going to need once you acquire your land. One of them is you need a survey. Now, there's 2 types of surveys you're going to need in order to get a construction loan. Because in order to get a construction loan, you need a set of plans that the bank can go in and appraise the value of that house in comparison to what else is out on that market in that area that you're building in. They need to be able to appraise something. They can't just appraise pixie dust, right? You can't just say, here's a magical pixie dust house that's 2,500 square feet that I want to build, and you get the bank to appraise it and then they give you a loan. It doesn't work that way. So the way institutions work is they want to see it, feel it, and have something tangible that they're going to be giving you a construction loan on. They want to see the design. They want to see what that house value is. They want to see if the construction type fits the business model of that area. And if the appraiser can see that it does, and it appraises, then the bank goes, okay, we'll take the professional knowledge of the appraiser and we'll give you a construction loan on it. Now, how do you get something tangible for the bank to be able to get the appraisal? Well, first you survey the lot. So you go in, you're going to need what's called an Alta survey, which is they're going to go in and give you what the lot looks like on a piece of paper, and they're going to plot the corners for you. Okay. So that's the first type of survey. Now, the second type of survey is called a topographic survey. The topographic survey, as you guys all know, if you buy natural land, it's not perfectly level, right? It's not at the perfect level that you need to build a house on. So if you've seen tractors out there milling the dirt, compacting it, rolling it, that they're doing what's called a pat site. So in order to do that, they need what's called a topographic survey so they can see where the dirt is low, where it's high, and they can level it out. And the survey company will do a topographic survey for you. So second thing you're going to need the lot. second thing is you need survey work, both the topographic and the Alta. So number 2 is you need survey work. Okay. Now, once you have your surveys, you need an architect. While the survey is going on, you need an architect to take the Alta survey and be able to plat a house on that lot. And you need to go out and have your architect or a draftsman. Like out here, we don't need an architect to be able to stamp our plans to get building permits. We just need our energy. We need to comply with our energy codes, and we need to have the sheet that says we comply with our energy codes, and we need our heat loss statements, and we need to make sure we have like our bracing plans and stuff. And CAD does a lot of that for a lot of draftsmen, and you can typically save a substantial amount of money in comparison to using a regular architect to do your designs on a residential property. Now, for commercial, you're going to need an architect. You cannot get and obtain permits or a construction loan without having stamped and approved architectural plans, plus all the engineering that goes along with commercial development. So residential, substantially easier, being that you can either get an architect, or for less money, if you can find a draftsman that has the updated software on CAD, they can enter in your area and they can give you all the specifications that you need to be able to build that house and apply for your building permits. And then you can go in and plat that house on the land. So the third thing you're going to need is an architect. Okay, we need to design the house so we can have a piece of paper that has all of the plans that we can submit for permits, so that way you can go in and have something that the bank can take tangible and appraise it on. Okay, so number 3, you're going to need architecture. Now, number 4, now the architecture that you need to get the appraisal is you're really going to need your full architecture, because you need to have the site plan. And in order to get number 4, you're going to need an architect to plat that house on the land. Now, step number 4, you're going to need a civil engineer. Okay. Now, we're doing all of this during our free time that we still haven't even closed on the land yet, right? We have 60 days to close on the land. The go time is the time that purchase agreement is signed by the seller saying, I accept your offer, I accept your terms, and it's time, and let's close in February. Then you take your security deposit to your realtor or the title company, who they then take it to the title company or to the escrow attorney that's going to close on it, and that secures that contract in place for you to purchase that land. Now, well, you have that little burn-up time of 60 days. It's not really burn-up time. It's free money time. It's time where you don't have a payment going out on land, or you don't have money out of your bank account going in on the land, and you can retain that the control of that lot while you're waiting to close on it, and you're working on your survey, you're working on your architectural prints, and third, you're working on your civil engineering. Okay, so look, for your civil engineer to do their job, you need to have an architect firm that sits back and goes that plats the house on the land for you, that you can deliver to your civil engineer. Then you need the survey company to deliver the topographic survey to you, so you could take that topographic survey to your civil engineer, and they can see how the lot lies. And what the civil engineer is going to do is they're going to tell you how that lot's going to drain the water, how the water is going to be contained from flooding the neighbors or anybody downhill. They're going to keep the water so it doesn't flood your house, and they're going to find a way to be able to deal with the hydrology, the water, the rainwater, the flood storms, our 100-year floods. And so they're going to put together for you a grading and drainage plan. Now, you're going to take your grading and drainage plan, you're going to take your architectural prints, you're going to take your survey and the lot that you purchased, you're going to compile all 4 of those things, and you're going to take that to the bank. And in the time that you're working with the bank, you're also going to take all of this paperwork and you're going to take it to the city or municipality where you're going to obtain permits, because the bank will not give you money and they will not release your funds until you have approved permits. Okay, so if you want to actually add a number 5 to that, number 5 is approved permits. Okay, the bank wants to know that you have something tangible that they're lending on. They want to know that you're going to build this house, right? It's not just some pixie dust it's not pixie dust of some conceptual concept of you building a house, but it's a real design, real permanent prints that you can go in and start turning dirt on. And the bank says, okay, let's run. Okay, now 2 things are happening at this time. Once you have your full set of architectural drawings, your civil engineering, and your survey, and your piece of land and your land, the bank is now underwriting your deal, right? That's going to take 30 to 45 days for the bank to do this. Now, in the interim time, you're probably getting ready to close on your land. You're getting ready to purchase the land, and you're also submitting for permits for first review with the city or county that you're doing business in. And so plan review can be anywhere from 2 weeks to several months, depending on where you live. And so you want to get that stuff submitted as soon as humanly possible. The county, the city, they're 99% of the time, they're going to come back with comments. They're going to say, we don't like the drainage plan. Your civil engineer needs to put something to work that takes care of this one little thing. Or, hey, you can't cut down these trees. We want to keep the trees, or you need to replace them. Public Works may come in and tell you that. Or the building official might say, hey, I don't like your bracing plan. I need to see engineering on this one little weight load, that you go back to your architect and say, hey, can you print me out the specifications on this beam, this one beam that's there? And so they're going to have comments, is what I'm telling you. And that stuff is real simple. You just have to be able to delegate back out to your professionals, your survey company, your engineer, or your architect, as to who is responsible for making those revisions. And then that process is at least probably 2 weeks to 6 weeks, just to be able to get the permits. And at the same time, it's the same amount of time to get the construction loan. So while the city is reviewing your plans, and the bank is also reviewing your plans, and the appraiser's doing their work getting the appraisal, you're sitting back just following up regularly, at least once a week, saying, how is it going? Is there anything I can do on my end to help and assist you to expedite this process? Hey, Mr. Appraiser, is there anything I can do to help expedite this process? And the answer is typically no, just stop bugging us. But I still call, right? I'm holding accountability to them. And so every time that I'm going in and I'm trying to get a construction loan, I'm pushing people. Because if the way banks, the way engineers, the way architects, the way everybody feels, that if it's not important to you, it's also not as important to them either. And so if you're not calling and following up and doing your due diligence, guess what they're doing? They're taking work in front of yours, or yours is sitting on the bottom of a pile of paperwork with that extravagant number of other clients that they have, especially in a day and age like today, just shuffle to the bottom of it. And then you're just another number. And so the way I get my papers from being at the bottom of their list back to the top is a simple follow-up call and say, hey, Mr. Banker, hey, it's Jerome. It's me. I'm in your face again. I know. Hey, you want to grab some lunch? Can I bring you down some coffee? Hope you're having a great day. You know, all that that passive aggressive stuff, right? That people say it's passive aggressive. It's just follow-up. And so you go back in and you say, hey, Mr. Banker, how's the appraisal going? Is there anything I can do today to help you guys in expediting the appraisal process? You know, just want to make sure there's anything I have to answer on my end, make sure that my architects, my engineers, that we have everything you need. And they'll be like, no, Jerome, I promise we got it all under control. We're still a couple weeks out. Okay, no problem, Mr. Banker. You guys have a great day. I'll touch base with you guys next week and see how things are going. Boom. Then you call up the permits, and you get online and you look for the comments. And then you make sure, because a lot of this stuff is online now, they'll post the comments. And if you're not paying attention, they'll just sit there in hibernation mode for like 2-3 weeks with you just sleeping on them. So you got to get online, log in to your online account, and check if there's any comments from the city officials, or check your emails, make sure that nothing's come back via city officials. And so that is super, super important. Then you call them up, or you submit your emails back to them and say, hey, Mr. City Official, I got your remarks. I think you're incorrect in the fact that the code book actually reads this. Copy, paste code book in there, send back, submit. Please re-review. Or if it's legitimate, you sit back and go, no problem, Mr. Code Man, no problem, Mr. Inspector. I'll get that addressed, copy, paste, send out to your architect, engineer, whoever it is that's responsible for it. And then you have them fix and edit. And again, now you're following up with them, right? You're following up with them all the time. You're following up and saying, hey, Mr. Architect, Mr. Engineer, just double checking, want to make sure that we have the engineering wrapped up so I can resubmit for second submittals and make sure we get our corrections handled, right? And the only way that's going to happen so it doesn't shuffle to the bottom is follow up. And this is stupid, simple stuff. And some people are sitting back right now and scratching their head going, damn, Jerome, that just seems super stupid simple. But it's the least common things for people to do. That's why I say it. Because you're going to go off, you're going to go to your kid's baseball event. You're going to go and get distracted with work. You're going to go get distracted with family. You're going to go get distracted with whatever distracts you. And you're going to forget. 2, 3, 4 weeks going to burn up. And those comments have been sitting there for 2-3 weeks. Look, ladies and gentlemen, if you like this content, you want more content just like this, click and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Give us a thumbs up if this content is of any value to you. Or give me a thumbs down and say, Jerome, this sucks. Fix it. I need to learn about X, Y, and Z. Okay. But give you something. Don't just sit there and do nothing with your thumb up your ass. Do something. Give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs down. Let me know how you feel about it. And let us continue giving you guys value and information. So look, once you get that back from your engineers or your architect or whoever you need to do, then you go back and you go back to the city and say, here's our submittals. And then you start your process again of follow-up. Every single Monday, Tuesday morning at 8 o'clock in the morning, first thing I do is I'm sitting back and I'm on my phone and I'm sending over architectural drawings, prints. I'm following up with all this stuff. In about 30 minutes, I can send out about 20 emails. And a lot of times to the engineers for commercial stuff, I'll just copy and paste the same email, change the name on it. And it's a simple follow-up email saying, hey, I'm here. I'm in your face. I just want to know where you are with my stuff and just want to check if there's anything I can do on my end to help you. Do you need me to contact an electrical engineer? What do you need from me to help expedite this process? And then I just hit send, submit. Thank you very much. Have a great day. And then I get responses back. Then I respond to the responses all week. And I'm going back and forth, just making sure things are facilitated. And then on Fridays, I do the exact same thing. When everybody else is on siesta mode at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, on Friday afternoon, when the roads get congested, and you sit back and go, damn, where do all these friggin' people come from at 2 o'clock in the afternoon on a Friday afternoon? Like where on earth are you coming from at 2 o'clock in the afternoon? Like, I don't know where people are at, but they're not at work. So while everybody else is congested in traffic at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I sit my ass down. I go back to my emails. I do my follow-ups again and say, hey, Mr. Architect, Mr. Engineer, where are we at on this stuff? And I'm sitting back, copying and pasting emails, shooting them out and doing my follow-ups. And that's what expedites the process. Now, 6 weeks later, 8 weeks later, you've already closed on your lot. Now you're a prideful owner of a new piece of land that's getting ready to turn dirt on. Your prints are getting approved. Your loan's getting approved. And ladies and gentlemen, you got a big fat grin on your face because it took you a couple months, 2-3 months to get out of the dirt. And now you're meeting with your tractor guys and you're going down to start turning some dirt. So hence, by the way, while this entire process is going on, guess what else you're doing? You're sending out your plans and prints while they're getting plan reviews to your plumbers, your engineers, your architect. You're sending out to your plumbers, your engineers. Your plumbers, your electricians, your dirt guys, your concrete guys, your framers, and you're also getting your windows ordered. You're also getting your frame package ordered, your trusses ordered, your truss engineer. All that stuff is getting taken care of while everything's under plan review. Appraisals are getting done on that house. This way, if you're in a time like today, where we have 10 weeks lag time to get windows, well, guess what? You got 10 weeks. But if you wait till you're done with all this, now you're waiting for windows, and hence you just lost one payment on your construction loan and a couple $1,000s that it cost you because you weren't on your game to get those window prices and get those windows ordered prior to starting your build. Same thing with trusses and lumber. It's taking 10 weeks to get trusses, ladies and gentlemen. So start the process early. While you're waiting for all this stuff and you're going through the millworks, there's a process of events. Go get all that stuff done. Get all that done, and then submit your permits, submit to the bank. When you're waiting for your construction loan, get your windows ordered, get your trusses ordered, get your lumber package ordered. And ladies and gentlemen, now you're successfully moving forward towards your project. You're going to want to get some temporary doors to lock up your house. Your garage doors are probably on back order right now. I need to check that on a couple projects that we're doing right now. Our solar panels in California, because we're doing all solar, we had to get those produced. Those are on back order. So guess what we're doing right now? We're waiting for permits. Solar panels. They'll be ready by the time we start turning dirt. So anyways, ladies and gentlemen, there's a process to this. Let's answer some questions. We got Richard. Thanks for joining us. Eminem, thanks for joining us. Renee, thanks for joining us. Ronnie, thanks for being here, my friend. What type of construction loan? This is for a residential home construction loan to build a house, right? Now, the process for commercial and residential is very similar, with the exception of commercial being more extravagant in relation to the fact that you have to have more engineers. You got an electrical engineer, you got more civil engineering to do on commercial. You need a mechanical, a plumbing engineer, a sprinkler engineer to do your fire sprinklers. You're going to need, your structural, what did I say? Structural, electrical, mechanical, plumbing, civil. I'm missing something. So you need to get it full engineering. Then you need a hydro engineer to do your proctors and so forth, and a geotechnical engineer. So you got to get all that engineering done while you're in the process of waiting for to get your permits on commercial stuff. Residential, substantially simpler. Again, rewind, repeat, rewatch. I talked about all that in the beginning of the video, and we'll go back through it again. When the video's over, it will post the video back up within an hour. You guys can rewatch it, but I go through all of that at the beginning of the video. Hard money interest only. No, so that's traditional financing on a loan. Now, hard money lenders, exact same thing. Most good hard money lenders, if they're institutional hard money lenders, you're going to have the same requirements as you would with any traditional lender. They just have a little bit higher interest rates, and they have a little bit more flexibility as to how they underwrite the deals. So if you're using private money or private hard money lenders, then a lot of times they may not require some of that stuff, but you're going to need it for permitting anyway, so you need to get it done. So you may as well get it done nonetheless. 30-year terms. No, this is a construction loan. On construction loans, it's not a 30-year term. So a construction loan, they'll usually give you, they'll say, okay, well, it's going to take you a year to build it. Let us give you 18 months. Or it's going to take you a year. We'll give you the construction loan, an open construction loan for 24 months, just to make sure that you have plenty of time to do it. Now, they'll only charge you interest on the money you withdraw. This is what I love about construction loans. And a lot of lenders will do 0% interest. Well, it's a construction loan, as long as you agree to stabilize the long-term 30-year note upon completion of the project. Okay. Now, only problem with that is that if you're doing that and you're going to resell it, you're not going to stabilize it, right? So a lot of times, what I'll do is if you have a construction loan going on projects, what you want to do is start to pre-sell the house after you're starting to do your trim out. The trim out being all the paint, the tile, the finish out items, the fixtures, the appliances, and all the finish out items on the house. Put it up for sale. And if you get a buyer for that house, you just put the closing date to your expected completion date, contingent on the completion date and certificate of occupancy. And then when you finish the construction loan, it just goes seamless, and you just move right into the sale. And you don't even have to worry about stabilizing the loan. Now, if you have a downturn market, you need to sit on the house for a while. Or let's say I have a lot of people that are working with us in our inner circle that are building to retain and then do short-term rentals with those properties. That's a big market. That's our primary market in the Palm Springs area. We're selling to investors that are doing short-term rentals. In fact, we just sold 3 of our properties to one investor up in Palm Springs. So really cool. You can do that as well. Or if it's the downturn market and you need to stabilize it, then yeah, you can do a 30-year mortgage, or you can do a 15 or 20-year mortgage, or you can do an interest only, or you can do an interest only loan, something to help you to stabilize the asset and then help you continue moving forward. But a lot of times I try to just exit at the end of the construction loan before we stabilize. Now, we build a lot of our houses cash. But every once in a while, we're doing larger developments. We'll use loans. Like Ramez and I, we're doing construction loans up in Seattle, up in our Kirtland project. So I don't want cottages. But again, that's over $20 million. So obviously, we're not going to forefront all that money in liquid cash, since I don't have $20 million in liquid cash available. Stupid to have $20 million in liquid cash. Now, $20 million plus in assets, yeah. But you use institutional money, or investors' private money, to be able to retain that, and then you spread that money out to have hundreds of millions of dollars in assets that are growing. And for some of you guys getting started, $1 million, $500,000, whatever it is, you extend all of that money to be able to expand yourself. Okay. So you'll have to do the construction costs, and if there's spreadsheets, Excel spreadsheets that we have. All our inner circle members have them, able to break down all those numbers and stuff. But if you're not part of our inner circle and you're just doing it on your own, just get a piece of paper, write it out, put it on Excel, and just do everything from what the costs are for the architecture, the land, the dirt work, the plumbing, the electrical, the engineering, the roofing, everything, and just run through all items, and then submit that over to the bank. Sit down with your general contractor. If you are the general contractor, sit down with a friend, a buddy, somebody who knows how to build, and just run through all that stuff. Okay. That's for another video. That's a whole other video, whole different day. And we'll run through that. I've ran through it before, and we'll run through it again. Now, M&A, I'm very interested in info, and I do see value in this. Thank you. No, thank you, my friend. Really appreciate you, man. Because if you guys aren't watching, then I'm sitting here talking to a block wall, and I don't want to talk to any block walls. I'm too busy, right? I want this stuff to go out, and I want it to be viral, and I want you guys to be able to take advantage of it and be able to utilize it. And a whole shit ton of you guys go back and say, that Jerome guy, he's a bad motherfucker. Why? Because he helped me make a shitload of money. And then it's a win-win deal. Okay. Now, I appreciate you, Ronnie. Citizens Bank told me 2-year max on construction loans. Yeah, it's typically a 2-year max on residential construction loans, and they'll typically push that out. But I typically, if I can get it 18 months, you're good. Because a typical house under normal conditions where there isn't a shortage of material and labor, 120-day build, maybe 150, budget for 150. And even now, I will push out a house in 150 days, even the under current circumstances. But if I can't push it out in 150 because everybody's a little busy, I got to wait a week here, wait a few days there for subcontractors, then 180 days is the max that I'm going to push to build a house out of. Okay. So let's say that you guys aren't quite as talented at being able to do it because it's your first house. 180 days goes by and you need another 30 days. Well, 210 days, you're still fine. Still under a year by far. And you're successful to get that house up, built, sold, and off your books, and the money come back in, and now go back and repeat the process. Now, the difference on the second home is now you got capital. And that's what's way cool, is after you build your first one and you got 6 figures in the bank, you don't buy a car, you don't buy a stupid watch, you don't go and buy that stuff. Now, you guys want to buy a badass Rolex, and you guys want to do it, set a goal. Say, I'm going to do 5 homes. I'm going to make myself $500,000. When I do $500,000, I'm going to go spend $20,000 of that on a really cool watch. Okay, cool. But make it a milestone. Make it where you set a goal and then get to that goal. And don't say, well, yeah, I really like that watch. I know I'm here in Vegas and I know I have the money. I'm going to buy it. No, you don't do that. They're milestone accomplishment awards for yourself, because it's just a stupid watch otherwise. Like, I can sit back with every freaking watch I own and say, I bought this watch when, and I can tell you a story of when I bought that watch. So if you guys see all the different watches that I wear, which I don't even wear them during the day, during the week. Why? Because I'm on construction sites every day. Like, I have my boots on, and I'm out on construction sites all day long, right? I get up in the morning, I come to the office. I'm spending more time in the office than I like to lately because I have a shitload of work going on. But then I take that and I go into the field, and then I'm working on getting permits and doing other stuff and just making sure that stuff's running correctly. So anyways, ladies and gentlemen, today is real, and it's real talk on real estate and how to get a construction loan, 4 steps. And I gave you actually 5 steps. And so if the content is of value to you guys, again, click and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Give us a thumbs up. Give us some love. I love you guys for being here. And we're documenting the process. If you guys aren't watching our regular content that's coming out, you're missing out, because I bought a lot that I'm documenting the process of buying land and building a house, while we have all our other apartment deals and subdivisions going on nationwide. So look, ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot of influencers out there that are talking about doing it, but they ain't showing yet. We're talking about it. We're living it. We're doing it. We're breathing it. It's been my life for the last 25 plus years, and I'm showing it and doing it with you guys, not for you guys alone, doing it also for myself, generational growth, but we're doing it. We're living it, and we're doing it for you guys. Anyways, click and subscribe. You guys go out and make it a great day. Continue compounding your success. If you guys aren't already working with our team, click below. Let us know how we can help and assist you, and how you can join and be a part of our inner circle and learning how to buy land, build houses, deploy that money, tax deferred, into long-term passive income that you can generate cash flow on forever and ever and ever, for as long as you live, your kids live, and their kids live. Ladies and gentlemen, go out and compound your success.